8th of December 2023. Welcome to Somalia's premier #1 station for news and updates, Dalsan TV. I'm your presenter, Abdurrahman Yusuf. On Friday night, Dalsan TV has quite a full bulletin prepared for you, but kindly first have a look at some of our top stories. President Mohamud meets Turkish military experts in Mogadishu. Somali Prime Minister meets Swedish ambassador to Somalia, discuss bolstering peace and stability in Somalia. Somali Disaster Agency dispatches relief supplies to Mahadai district. New Somali ambassador to Kenya submits his papers to President William Ruto. Glad to have you back. Now let's delve into our full bulletin. Somalia President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met with military experts and senior officers from Turkey alongside Turkish Ambassador Ibrahim M. Yagli at the Presidential Palace in Mogadishu on Thursday. During the meeting, President Mohamud and the officials discussed strengthening military cooperation between the two countries and the Turkish government to support Somali army in the ongoing military operations in the country.
Somali President Dr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud met with parliamentary experts and senior officers from Turkey alongside Turkish Ambassador Ibrahim M. Yagli at the Presidential Palace in Mogadishu. During the meeting, President Mohamud and the officials discussed the strengthening of the military cooperation between the two countries and the Turkish government's support to the Somali army in the ongoing military operations in the country. In 2017, the Turkish government opened its largest overseas military base in Somalia's capital to train over 10,000 Somali soldiers. The military base, reportedly costing $50 million, has the capacity to train at least 1,500 soldiers at a time, according to Turkish and Somali officials. Since then, thousands of Somali soldiers who graduated from the Turkey Somalia military training base, TACSOM, have been actively participating in military operations against Al-Shabaab. Relations between Turkey and the Horn of African nations are historically strong and picked up after President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's official visit in 2011, making him the only non-African leader to visit Somalia in 20 years. Turkey has also been continuing its support to Somalia with humanitarian aid in the areas of health, education and security.
Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre received at his office Swedish ambassador to Somalia Joachim Wan on Thursday. They discussed a range of issues, including strengthening multilateral relations between the two nations. Prime Minister Hamza Abdi Barre received the Swedish ambassador to Somalia Joachim Wan at his office in Mogadishu on Thursday. They discussed a range of issues, including strengthening multilateral relations between the two countries. Prime Minister Hamza thanked the ambassador for the visit and underscored the federal government's undivided commitment to enhancing long-spanning and historic diplomatic relations between the two countries. Ambassador Wan emphasized the undertaking by the Swedish government to support Somalia in various fields, including strategic investment and building the peace and stability of the Horn of Africa nation. The Swedish government has been involved in rendering support to Somalia in the health sector, humanitarian assistance and institutional reforms. The Somali National Disaster Management Agency has on Thursday dispatched 30 trucks of relief supplies and emergency boat to Mahadai district of the Middle Shabelle and its environs, Hill Shabelle administration, in the ongoing efforts to alleviate impacts of the devastating floods. Dr. Ahmed Abdi Aden, Deputy Commissioner of the National Disaster Agency, flagged off relief aid at the agency's Emergency and Coordination Center in the capital, Mogadishu. The Somali Disaster Management Agency dispatched 30 trucks of relief supplies and an emergency boat to Mahadai district of the Middle Shabelle and its environs, Hill Shabelle administration, in the ongoing efforts to alleviate the impacts of devastating floods on Thursday. Dr. Ahmed Abdi Aden, the Deputy Commissioner of the National Disaster Management Agency, flagged off relief aid at the agency's Emergency and Coordination Center in the capital, Mogadishu. Aden said the aid comprises of assorted food items, including wheat delivered to the Somali government by the Russian authorities. Mahadai district is among the areas severely affected by the current El Niño weather phenomenon that has left residents fleeing their homes and compounded by a lack of food. The provision of emergency relief supplies is expected to be a sigh of relief for the residents who are currently on the precipice of hunger. A lack of shelter as their homes continue to be submerged by flood water resulting from heavy downpour. The Horn of Africa is one of the regions most vulnerable to climate change, and extreme weather events are occurring with increased frequency and intensity. The region is emerging from the worst drought in 4 decades after multiple fairly rainy seasons that have left millions of people in need and devastated crops and livestock. Humanitarian groups have warned that the situation is likely to worsen and called for urgent global intervention as El Nino is expected to last until at least April 2024. Somalia's newly appointed ambassador to Kenya, Jibril Ibrahim Abdullah, presented his diplomatic credentials to Kenya President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi. Abdullah, a seasoned professional and a former 2-time presidential contender, is expected to use his knowledge and expertise working and living in Kenya to boost diplomatic relations between Somalia and Kenya, which have suffered in the last 3 years. Somalia's newly appointed ambassador to Kenya, Jibril Ibrahim Abdullah, presented his diplomatic credentials to Kenya President William Ruto at State House, Nairobi. Abdullah, a seasoned professional and former 2-time presidential contender in Somalia, is expected to use his knowledge and expertise working and living in Kenya to boost the diplomatic relations between Somalia and Kenya, which has suffered in the last 3 years. The reopening of the Kenya-Somalia border, which was closed due to Al-Shabaab militant group and incessant attacks in Kenya, is top of his agenda as a new envoy settles in. Jibril takes over the mantle from Mohamed Noor Tarzan, who served in the same capacity since 2018 when he was appointed by former Somalia President Mohamed Farmajo. Kenya's Ministry of Foreign Affairs senior officials, led by Musalia Mudavadi, the current Foreign Affairs Minister, who also doubles up as a Prime Cabinet Secretary, bade farewell to former ambassador and thanked him for his distinguished service to promoting relations between the two countries during his 4-year tenure. Lovely viewers, that's all from tonight from our desk here in Mogadishu. Have yourselves a lovely night, be blessed, and kindly stay put for more stories in our subsequent bulletins.